So a really heartfelt thank you to Sonia, Phoebe, Anna, and especially Lorena for giving us this really, really beautiful space of interaction and discussion. I would have loved to meet you all in person, but well, the virtual world it is. And in this coffee break, I'm going to briefly, very briefly introduce our project EmpoderArte. And I'm going to share the screen now. Please bear with me for a second. And please also do let me know if anyone of you has any problem to see the screen or hear the audio of the presentation. As Lorena said at the very beginning of today, EmpoderArte is a social arts project that aims to create safe spaces for women across Peru who want to express and empower themselves using audiovisual tools. EmpoderArte was founded in 2018, well, sort of. Wait. I'm not sure. That should be the next slide. Oh, there you go. So it was founded in 2018. It didn't have a logo or name back then, but it started as a part of an investigation and research for a feature film on violence against women. Actually, my first feature documentary, as I'm a documentary filmmaker. And something I always try to do in my films is to find connections between different characters in different locations. And in Peru, we have these three beautiful landscape-wise, diverse regions or places where we can find characters and where I usually try to find connections. So we have Costa, Sierra, y Selva. And the idea was to film and to travel to different places to talk to survivors and victims. And I didn't want to do this with my usual film team, mostly, consisting of men, but rather wanted to make this project an all-female team project. And moreover, not only a female or women team from Lima, because most of the technical, let's say, fields or filmmaking places take place in Lima. But rather, I wanted to make this a documentary with women from the regions. And that, as I just said, turned out to be a really, really difficult endeavor, as there aren't many women working in the technical field of filmmaking, such as camera, lights, or sound. And if there are, most of them, as I just said, are based or live in Lima. So we did the first workshop of EmpoderArte with a very small group of women from the barrios of La Esperanza y el Porvenir, to rather poor neighborhoods in my hometown, Trujillo, which is in the north of the country. And pre-pandemic, we heard, just checking the chat. I hope, Lorena, you tell me if, because there are so many comments in the chat, I'm not sure if it's because of...
There was a confusion about the interpretation, but all good. Just to say that I think there is some sound issue when you touch something, maybe where you have the microphone or something, we hear like a rubbing noise. But apart from that, everything is good. And that's not too bad.
Can you hear me well now?
We can hear you well now, yes.
Okay, I hope I try not to touch anything. I'm sorry about that. So perfect. Yeah, please let me know because I can't see, unfortunately, a chat. I don't know why. Well, anyways. So pre-pandemic, we've had 9 workshops with 54 participants, often the same, who came to several workshops in 3 locations. So we were working in what I just mentioned, my hometown Trujillo in the north of Peru, coastal north of Peru. We are in the Andes in Ayacucho, Huamanga, and in Cusco. And one of the ideas was to expand, and then the pandemic hit, and it hit us quite hard, actually, just while we were doing a 1-month workshop in Trujillo, and we had to shut down. It was really, really hard, and there were many, unfortunate things that happened during the pandemic. But for our project itself, it was quite beneficial because suddenly we had this virtual world opening to us, and we could actually talk to women from all these different regions. So in 2020 and 2021, we had over 250 attendees coming to different events, such as conversations, small screenings, but most of them were workshops and conversations. And they participated from all regions of the country. In 2020, so just last year, our project won funding from the Peruvian Ministry of Culture. And for that, to present your project, you have to present a little video of what you have been doing so far, which is the video that I'm going to play now. So you get an idea. I think it kind of sums up really nicely what we have been doing so far pre-pandemic and what the type of videos are that the participants or our participants are producing. So I'm going to play. Please let me know if there are any sound issues.
Pues EmpoderArte es importante seguir con este tipo de proyectos porque es dar voz a personas que en esta sociedad pues no la tienen.
Una satisfacción tremenda porque en este taller he aprendido muchas cosas.
No tiene costo y eso ayuda a que se democratice la cultura, de que más personas que a veces no contamos con recursos para para pagar un taller, podamos tener acceso a ese conocimiento que es muy valioso, y por eso también agradezco la oportunidad, sí, y ojalá pues sigan dándose en el futuro.
Imagina que los caminos escriben tu historia y la susurran a quienes decidimos soñarte. Ve cómo atardece a través tuyo y vuelve a ser niña.
Bueno, yo me entero de mi diagnóstico ya hace más de 6 años. El tema familiar ha sido muy difícil en un primer momento. Mis papás, digamos, el enterarse que tienen un hijo viviendo con VIH ha sido muy difícil porque lo veíamos como algo lejano, como algo que no nos iba a pasar. Bueno, una de las cosas más difíciles creo que nos toca vivir a todos y todas que tenemos esta condición de vida es el ser víctimas de estigma y discriminación. El mensaje que le daría a nuestra sociedad, en especial a la sociedad cusqueña, es que nosotros somos personas como cualquiera, que tenemos sueños, tenemos anhelos, trabajamos, estudiamos, podemos ser padres, podemos ser, no sé, formar una familia, enamorarnos, continuar con nuestra vida como cualquiera, ¿no?
¿Cómo sería una ciudad sin carros? Una ciudad con aire más puro, una ciudad con más espacios en las calles, una ciudad en donde no tendríamos miedo de morir en un accidente de tránsito, una ciudad en donde las mujeres podrían andar en bici sin miedo. Sería una locura, ¿no?
Soy una mujer, tengo rasgos indígenas, me voy en bicicleta. Es escoger ir de... Te van a marginar por ser mujer, te van a marginar porque tienes este color de piel, y te van a marginar porque andas en bicicleta. Salir así y decirle, me vale madre todos esos conceptos. Voy por ello porque apuesto por una ciudad distinta, por una realidad diferente. Es un desafío constante.
So these are 3 of the films we produced. We produced a few more. I'm going to share the YouTube page later. A few of them are not online, but I think the ones where we had the consent of the characters and permission, you can find them on our social media pages. So to come and explain and sum up really briefly again, a little bit of our goals, a few of our goals are to decentralize the current film education in Peru and support the education of emerging female filmmakers and cultural leaders in the regions. We want to create a collaborative network of women who seek to express themselves through audiovisual tools and like to know more about the art of storytelling. Not all of them might want to end up as filmmakers, but they certainly do want to use the audiovisual tools, producing videos, and the many theoretical knowledge behind it to share usually very intimate stories of their families, stories of their communities, of their neighborhood. We also want to create safe spaces for women, which was quite a challenge, we thought at the beginning, when we entered the pandemic, when we thought that safe spaces, it might be difficult to create those during the pandemic in the virtual world. But thanks to our really incredible participants so far, it has been a really, really incredible experience. We opened the space up as well. So currently we're saying and inviting to all our events, we say cisgender women, trans women, and non-binary artists. With our events, conversations, workshops, and screenings so far, we also want to contribute to the intercultural exchange and dialogue between women with different interests and professional approaches to open debates on significant social issues. One of the examples that I'm going to share now is actually, or features actually, one of our a younger character. Again, we do have the consent, fortunately, because I think it's a really, really beautiful example of something our younger participants care about, and it's a really, really uplifting story. So I'm going to share the full film. It's only 3 minutes.
El fútbol me apasiona porque es un deporte donde yo puedo ser espontánea y librarme y despejar un poco mi mente. Mi nombre es Sandra, tengo 13 años y soy una persona muy sociable. Desde hace años sentía que me gustaba jugar fútbol porque me ha ayudado a desenvolverme más. Por ejemplo, antes era un poco tímida, pero cuando empecé a jugar fútbol, como yo era delantera, no sé, me sentía una líder, y cuando empecé el colegio comencé a como desenvolverme más, a dejar la vergüenza. Aquí en el Perú es muy común la discriminación. Creo que la mujer debería tener los mismos derechos que un hombre. Su papá de mi vecina, de su hijita, a veces como que no lo deja salir a su hija porque le dice que las mujeres no deberían de estar en la calle, que deberían quedarse en la casa, atender a la mamá y al papá. Una vez, un compañero de la academia me dijo que parezco hombre jugando fútbol. Creo que en su casa está acostumbrado así, seguro. La verdad es que no me importó tanto, porque yo pensé que eso no era verdad y no me dolió tanto que me dijera eso. Al contrario, me motivó más. Yo pensé en ese momento que estaba picón, porque seguro me habrá visto jugar y le habrá gustado. Mi mamá me apoya porque creo que soy la única hija que juega fútbol y es algo diferente para mi mamá, y eso es lo que le encanta de mí, porque creo que el fútbol me ayuda a desenvolverme más, no solo en el nivel académico, sino en lo físico también. Mi papá no tanto, ni mis hermanos, porque ellos piensan que el fútbol es solo para hombres, y por eso me motivo más cada día. Por un tiempo pensé en salirme de jugar fútbol, pero vuelta no, porque mi corazón lateaba fútbol, 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 y mejor seguí lo que más me gustaba. A veces pienso en el futuro crearme yo también una academia de fútbol femenino para hacer que las mujeres se motiven a hacer el deporte, para erradicar esa indiferencia que existe.
No. I'm sorry. I have to share again. I'm sorry. I was too fast. Here we are. So yeah, that was one example of the many short films that we hope to continue to create after the pandemic. It's just been 2 years, but it's been really an exciting ride. There have been many really great participants that are doing our workshops, talking about our workshops, and currently also during the pandemic being very helpful with ideas, creating new things in the virtual world that wouldn't be possible without them. We do have 3 gestoras culturales, so cultural leaders, in the 3 regions that I mentioned before, where we're working well, under normal circumstances. But during the virtual world as well, we created, or we do count now with small teams that are doing different tasks and different projects within EmpoderArte. So, for example, these are 4 examples that we hope as well to continue to do, and that we were able to do with the help of the ministry, with the funding that we received. So one of them is, for example, a film lab, which actually takes place next week. And we received over 50 submissions from the country of projects that are in desarrollo, so just in a pre-production phase, who are beginning their way and journey of becoming filmmakers, hopefully, and really great projects. Unfortunately, we only had place for 5. But we will continue to do these film labs because, I mean, I see that there is definitely a great amount of filmmakers, female filmmakers, women filmmakers, who are working on really great projects. Another thing I'm really excited about is that we're currently working on our first magazine. It will be an online magazine, Tras Cámara, and it will talk about women in film. It will focus on Peruvian women in film, but we're also opening up to currently Latin American women in film. And the magazine contains, for example, film reviews. It has interviews with filmmakers, more known filmmakers such as Melina León, for example. We do have a film review of Canción Sin Nombre, but we also try to present collectives that are rather not known or still unknown, that work in the regions. We try to present also emerging filmmakers that are currently in pre-production with their first project. We do have conversatorios, so virtual events and conversations with professionally working filmmakers who will talk and analyze their films with us. And we hope to do and continue to do also virtually muestras de cine, so film screenings where we open up to films made by women, but not only Peruvian women, but also Latin American women. So yes, these are the 4 things, the 4 projects that we're currently working on, and hope, again, as mentioned, that we continue to do them. And yeah, if you want to find out more, we're currently building our website. Everything that happened since we won the funding everything is really new to us. So we suddenly had to build a website. We're doing that, where we hope as well it should be a website at least where people can download, for example, the magazine, where people can, especially women, can find materials that they will help them in their filmic education. And yeah, like many other research articles, yeah, so everything. We're currently building that, but we are on social media. You can find us there. As I mentioned before, this is a very young project, so we do know about many issues that we still have, sometimes even ethical questions that we discuss in the group. For example, the outreach, how do we get to more communities? How can we ensure that the women's voices are actually the ones telling the story? I mean, I'm very much aware that I am a bicultural, I'm the founder, but I'm a bicultural woman, so I'm Peruvian German. I know about my privilege. I know, yeah, so we do have a lot of questions that we're still working on, and I'm really happy to discuss them with all of you, because I know that you've been researching them for quite a while. So please get in touch. Yeah, and if you do have any questions, I don't know if we have time for them now, but yeah, you can ask them in the chat or contact me. Yeah, anyways. Thank you very much.